Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vase, coming to you live from yet another airport. And I forgot to take out the live chat. I'm gonna do my best to keep this to 30 minutes again, even though I totally failed yesterday in that attempt. This is good. This is good. Too lazy to get the webcam, so we're just working with the laptop cam here today. Let me. Cool. All right, let's go to the charts. How are we doing on the live counts? We got only 124 watching. That's okay. That should rise. All right, let's do it. Let's go screen share. All right, tonevase.com as usual. Where do I put this? I'll just put it up there. And I gotta move a couple of things over so they're not in my way. Okay, so yeah, sometimes I start on time. It's rare. Okay. No mouse either. I hate using the trackpad. So the next webinar will be on entries, exits, and stop losses, and that will take place a week from Sunday. And today is, I think, Monday. So this will take place in 2 weeks. Today is July 3rd, and this is on July 14th. Is that right? Double check my calendar. Yes, July 14th. So that would be on Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Wait, today is not Monday. What the hell's today's day? I don't even know what day it is. Welcome to Tone Vase Live. Today's Wednesday. No shit. At least I'm at the airport on time. Okay. I'm headed to Ukraine, in case anyone's wondering. That's where I'll be for the rest of the week. Few cities, not one spot. You can catch me at the Blockchain Incredible Party in Odessa for BIP 001. So come on down to Odessa. And hey, Gordon. Didn't know you were coming, Gordon. We're good to see you. Artej. Oh, it's going to be a good conference. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be cool. Oh, Alex Petrov. Good. Wow. You'll be catching up with a lot of people. Cool. I'll try and bring you some interviews, guys, if I can. Okay. I want to get back to talking about this. I put this article in the video description. The reason why my YouTube comments are turned off is because I really don't care about opinions. I wrote this article in 2015, February 2015 to be exact. So this article was written over 4 years ago. Everything I stated in this article, I believed then and I believe today. Here's what we're dealing with. In order for me to consider the end of a bear trend and the beginning of a bull trend, I need a nice move up followed by at least a 30% correction. If you look at this general graphic, which was published by Chiovaco Capital in 2011, and then referenced by me 3 years later in 2014, right here is approximately a reference to $350 in the price of Bitcoin, because that's approximately where it was sitting at this time in 2015. This is a drop to $200. Okay. What percentage is that? That's approximately 40%. Then we need a rise above this high. This is what I need in order to consider the ending of a bear market and the start of a bull market. Now, not all assets are perfect, okay? And what happened in Bitcoin is simply this. we started to rise without doing a 30% correction at any point until this past week. So none of these were 30 to 40% corrections. And I needed to see one before I can declare the end of a bear market. But not only that, that's not the only criteria that I need. I don't only need a 30 to 40% drop. I also need the price to go and break the prior swing high. Now, a lot of people aren't happy that this is taking place at a price of Bitcoin being $13,000. That's not exactly my problem, right? That's what Bitcoin did. My rules were simple. I referenced this article in 2015. I've referenced it many other times. So if I do declare that Tone Vase is now bullish the market, and it happens at $14,000, Tone Vase doesn't actually have a problem with this. Only people that continue to watch this channel seem to have a problem with it and yet continue to watch the channel. Those are the rules. Those are the rules that I learned. Those are the rules that I follow. I'm not gonna stop following the rules of TA that got me here just because it's Bitcoin. TA is TA. TA shouldn't change based on the asset. Okay. General rules of bull and bear market shouldn't change based on the asset. So Bitcoin is almost there, but it's not yet there. The weekly chart, once again, is disappointing to me personally because I continue to expect this pullback to be a little bit longer and a little bit deeper. I expected it to last several weeks, and I expected it to go down to at least below 9 towards somewhere in the vicinity of 8,000, and most likely in the vicinity of 6,000. And the drop disappointed me a little bit. It did not give me an opportunity to be able to catch the falling knife because it turned earlier than my TA would have suggested. The daily, while it did bounce off the setup trend line, it did not reach the moving average, and it was only on a 3 of 9. So I was expecting more downside. Now, we are not out of the woods yet. Even by my definition of when the bull market begins, we need to still break 14,000. Now, me personally, I will probably be a bull a smidge earlier than that, and I hope that doesn't bite me in the ass. I would be a bull above the break of this setup trend line on the 4-hour chart, and that's close. That's around 12,200. Now, the one thing that I now worry about is the moment Tone becomes a bull in the market at, say, 12,500, we reverse and actually do go down to 4K, which is possible. And your trading portfolio needs to be prepared for that. The best way to prepare for that is to use stop losses. But for me personally, the way I didn't really sell any Bitcoin in the bear market, I'm not really going to be buying many Bitcoin in a bull market because I have no money to buy Bitcoin with. Like that, I held my Bitcoin. Right? Like that, it's that simple. So the only thing I can do is sell assets. I can sell my condo. I can sell my car. I can sell my collectibles from when I was a kid. Everyone has some, you know, whether they're comics or baseball cards or whatever. I can sell my gold coins, but my gold coins are rising, so I don't want to sell those yet. I'd love to sell the silver coins, but damn, I'd be taking a big loss on those. And so the only thing I can do to buy more Bitcoin is to sell assets. Now, am I willing to sell assets and buy Bitcoin at 14,000? Probably not. Would I be willing to sell assets and buy Bitcoin down in the $4,000 range? Yeah, that's more likely. So I will wait and see what happens. For the time being, I drew this line yesterday, and Bitcoin was struggling to break this line, which would have been a statistical rejection of the dead cat bounce off the low. And what I also said yesterday, that even if we break this line, you have lots of resistance here with the moving averages between the 11,100 and 11,500. And we're stuck between these moving averages. So let's see if it can break it. So I'm not a bull yet, but I'm close. I'm close because TA is not going to give me a choice. It's either a trend change or it's not a trend change. And these are my rules. I wrote my rules in 2015, and some of you on here even saw it back then. All right, let me glance at the other markets. There's nothing else I can really say about Bitcoin. The 12-hour chart is looking bullish. The daily chart is neutral. It hasn't flipped yet on sequential, but it is coming off a reversal candle. The weekly chart is now bullish, especially if it can close above the 50% Fibonacci line. The 4-hour chart is totally neutral. It's not telling you one way or another. And the hourly chart is neutral as well. The hourly chart topped on a 9 at a moving average. That's interesting. Could have been a nice exit opportunity for some. Maybe Socrates got out. I know he was waiting for 11K, but look at how 11K was broken. 11K was broken on a huge breakout candle. This is the hourly chart, though. I know he likes the 4-minute chart right here, right? The 11. I know he was looking to get out at 11K, but the way 11K was breaking, I would have just waited. And if you use sequential on the hourly chart, there was a nice exit opportunity right there at 11.5. Though if we break above 11.5, maybe not a bad idea to go back in. I'm not going to talk about this. See, this is also very good. Ethereum is potentially on a brand new weekly low close, assuming the candle closes at this price. So where are we at right here? Where did this candle close? This candle closed at, damn, I can't see. Let's do this. This candle closed at 26326, and this closed at 26185. So that's the low, 26185, and this is 2583. So this is the new low close on Ethereum. We still have like 4 days to go, I know, but this is the new low close. If this is bearish, grossly bearish, and this is very bullish for Bitcoin. Remember, I had another criteria. Bitcoin cannot begin a bull market until shitcoins figuratively start to die. And the best way to die for the shitcoins is for them to depreciate against Bitcoin, and specifically fall below the early pump levels. So for Ethereum, below the early pump levels is probably going back to this area. It needs to go below 0.0072 area, okay? And I don't think I have Litecoin anymore, but I still have Monero up, right? So Monero, for Monero to be figuratively dead, it needs to go below the pump levels. So Monero needs to go below this area, 0.0035, let's say. Let's do this, 0.0035, right? Against Bitcoin, like I don't care what they are in terms of dollars. I only care what they are in terms of Bitcoin. Because by holding on to an altcoin, you are diluting yourself of Bitcoin. That's what you're missing out on, because you're already a person of crypto. So what you're missing out is the Bitcoin price valuation. And yeah, and this is also looks like it's just getting started. So this is going to go significantly lower. I'm going to close Monero. I don't really care. I have too many charts open. Let's save it. Oil took a big nosedive down off the 9. That's interesting. Gold is still looking good. Gold is still looking bullish. And I'm really curious on the stock. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And we hit 3,000 in the futures market. What about the cash market? $5 off, 5 points off. Wow. 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 Amazing. Starbucks. Oh boy. Oh, did I call that one correctly the other day? Unless that was it. That was the other day. Is this today? Is this right now? This is today. Yeah. Yeah. Starbucks. Oh man. Looks great. Looks great. What about Uber? Actually, I want to keep an eye on Uber. Yep, Uber is in the triangle. Uber may still be a breakout. Could also be a breakdown. Like I would be watching Uber right now. Lyft, come on, go down. Still want to buy Lyft below 40. Amazon looks good on a breakout. Man, Starbucks, that was a good one. Guys, you should go back and watch last night's video. That's all I got. I can look at your live chat. Oh, so Ethereum USD is on a 9. On a dollar, yeah, it looks like it's ready to go down. Reversal candle, reversal candle. I would not be interested in Ethereum right now. Man, I can't wait for this thing has already broken down. The only place to go is down, especially if it breaks this low. Oh man. A rise in Tether supply leads to increased retail interest. I don't know if that's true or not. It also means those tethers have to be dumped for US dollars. Tethers need to be dumped for US dollars. I'm not sure about that either. By buying Bitcoin and selling to real suckers. Is Tether pumping this rally? I don't know, it could. But Tether are dollars, right? Like whoever is holding on to the Tether is holding on to a lot of risk. Tethers are a risky position to hold. Any scam episodes in the future? Yes. So after this trip, I have a very good crypto scam coming up. Shouldn't gold being bullish mean silver is also bullish? No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. You must be new here. Silver no longer has any monetary value, and silver is basically screwed. The value of silver is whatever value industrial production has for silver, like copper. Silver's monetary value, silver's use as money is now about the same as copper's use as money. And if you don't understand why, please go read the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean. What exchanges can Americans take? Sure, I don't really want to. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have any exchange accounts. I don't trade on exchanges. It's too risky. I can't risk my Bitcoin. Looking at your live chat, guys. I haven't looked at a chart of Snapchat in a while. Is that even on my list? Snap on my list? Maybe not. Square is. Let me see what Square looks like. Ooh, this looks good. This looks beautiful. Looks like it's ready to break out. I like this chart. I really like this chart. I like this chart, guys. Look, you had a higher low from last year to this year. You haven't had a higher high yet, but you're making this big cup and handle. I like this chart. Sequential looks good. Still on 7 of 9 countdown phase. Now on a 3 setup. The 3 just went above the 2. I like this. Now, here's another problem. One of the trading rules that was taught to me when I was learning is never trade the day before or the day after a holiday. And tomorrow's a holiday. I looked at Tilray the other day. I'm sure nothing's changed. What was I gonna take a look at? I don't remember anymore. That's it. I think I'm gonna call this a day. That's all I got. I still think Bitcoin needs to correct a little more, but my opinion doesn't really matter, right? What is the probability this is an unprecedented event that defies the TA rules you have set, and a low is set for Bitcoin, and we are now in a bull market that will lead to new all-time highs for Bitcoin? Well, the odds of that go up greatly once we break above 14,000, right? Like greatly. If trading Bitcoin futures, would you do TA on the futures chart or the perpetual that you use only to define entries, exits? Well, it depends what futures you're talking about. You're talking about the CME futures, or are you talking about like Deribit and BitMax? The TA should be the same on the futures and the perpetual because they're both trade 24/7. TA fails you in CME because it's closed on the weekends. TA of the perpetual or the futures should be almost identical. The only difference is liquidity and cost to carry. But that's negligible, right? Like it's still the same. They still go up and down by almost the same percentage on a daily basis. UK planning to block futures? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to have any effect. See, this is what I like to see. Look, the last 24-hour change for Bitcoin, 6%. The next best, well, shitcoin number 1, less than 1%. Shitcoin number 2, negative. Shitcoin number 3, negative. Shitcoin number 4, only up 2%. 5, down 6, down 7, up 0.25%. We have to go down to shitcoin number 20 to find one that has made a better return than Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. Okay, this is the relationship that I expect to continue into infinity. Okay. You don't have to agree with that opinion, but that's what it is. Tone, what would you say is a realistic target for the next Bitcoin cycle high? I would say about 45,000. Yeah, I wish I had. I may start to focus a little more. Try to bring the daily show back, cover the news. Um, I kind of got the news show fell apart. The crypto scam shows fell apart. The law show barely happens now, and that's because of my travels, right? That's because I'm so busy with my travel, and I don't have a producer. Like I don't have someone that does all of that for me. So it's easy for me to do these trading Bitcoin shows because they require zero preparation, right? I could not look at charts since yesterday and just go and look at the show, right? Because I've been looking at charts my whole career. But those shows require preparation and organization and coordination with people. And I just don't have the time to do all that. So all those shows fell apart. I want to bring those shows back. Those shows were a lot more interesting to me. This is not interesting to me, right? Like dealing with a million trolls who don't like my opinion of where I think the price is going. Like, don't watch. There is 1,000 other traders and analysts for you to watch. Will I be hosting any events in Dallas? Probably not. There is a Bitcoin Maximalist conference. Somebody else will do it. Are you planning an early retirement? I kind of retired in 2015 when I quit my job. I didn't realize I'd be busier than ever. I thought I'd just get to travel the world, speak at some conferences, you know, trade as I travel. Uh, Now I'm busier than ever, and yeah, so I need to take a break from that. So I'll retire with my cooking show. Do you think the ratio of noobs to pros in this Bitcoin market contributed to the unique price action swing? Actually, I don't. I don't think so because I think it was all internal money. I don't think it was a lot of external money. I think it was a lot of internal money that drove this up. And I'm still skeptical. This was not a normal end to the bear market. It just wasn't. I mean, I've never seen it end like this before. So like Tyler always says, if you have a choice between two things, always take the least risky option. I don't have favorite traders on Twitter. I don't watch anybody else. Like, how do you have favorite traders? You shouldn't have favorite traders either. You should learn how to trade and do it yourself. Am I ever coming to Orlando? Surprisingly, I've never been to Orlando, even though I've lived in Florida for like 2 years and never been to Orlando. Only drove through it or around it. Um, Been to Tampa, Miami, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Palm Beach, never Orlando. I don't want to walk through all the stocks, but Apple wasn't interesting at all yesterday. Why would it change now? It's a little more interesting now. Actually, no. Actually, Apple was in a bullish trend. Apple's bullish. I wouldn't mind holding Apple right here. Apple's bullish. Tesla wants to close the gap. I'd be a little careful with Tesla in this gap. If you weren't in Tesla, into the gap, like I wouldn't be buying it today. Let's put it that way. I'll glance at Tilray. Tilray looks good. It looks like it's ready to go up again. Let it consolidate and let it start to break out. Let it see if it can hold the golden cross. You can also look back and see if it has a history of behaving properly. Actually, it's not that old of a stock. I don't know. It's a volatile stock. It's a volatile stock. I gotta see what the options on it, how they're priced. Um, it seems like a good candidate for like a long-term call ratio back spread, if you know what that is, in the options market, if it works out. I may or may not still do the intro to options course this August. We'll see. I don't have any insight to the NVT indicator. We need to have Willy Woo on. I'm really liking Starbucks here, man. But if you weren't in yesterday or early this morning, it's probably too late. But it still looks good. This thing looks like it's ready to just keep going. 4 of 9, 6 of 13. Man, looks good. I don't know what the hell Starbucks is doing, but they're doing something right. Jeez. Look at that. Look at this monster. That's impressive. It's really impressive. Oh, look at the weekly. It hits a 9, 1 to 4 candle correction, beautiful reversal candle, almost touches the moving average, and boom, huge breakout. Ah, the weekly is more bullish than the daily. Man, that was the trade to be in. It's really good. Nah, I don't care about Ripple. I don't feel like pulling up the chart. I've never met the Winklevoss twins in person. I did meet Pump though. I should give him a text message. Maybe I'll try and do a podcast with him this summer. If I'm in New York again. Ever. All right, guys. I see a couple of good economic questions. You really want to go and watch my presentation at Unconfiscatable. What do you see as the biggest drivers of mainstream adoption besides price? Go watch my presentation from Unconfiscatable conference on the Unconfiscatable conference YouTube channel. Can a global recession cause Bitcoin bear market in 2020 or 2021? Yes, a global recession could cause a Bitcoin bear market because in a recession, people lose jobs, people don't have money. So just think about it, right? Let's say you're becoming Bitcoin rich. Let's say you have, I don't know, 50, 100 Bitcoin to your name, right? Like if you have 100 Bitcoin right now, you have $1 million. So let's say you don't have that much, right? Let's say you only have 10 Bitcoin. So you have, with 10 Bitcoin, you have $120,000, right? And let's say the price goes up. Let's say you have 10 Bitcoin, each Bitcoin is 20 grand. You have all of a sudden $200,000. And you have a job that pays you maybe $50,000 a year. And let's say your wife has a job that pays her $35,000 a year. So now you have a certain, standard of living based on a $85,000 a year income, right? You have a certain standard of living based on a $75,000 a year income. And let's say one of you loses your jobs, right? If your wife loses her job, then now you're living on a $50,000 income. If you lose your job, now you're living on a $35,000 income, which is a challenge. But you're used to a certain standard of living. God forbid you both lose your jobs, right? But if one of you loses your job because of a recession, you have to significantly cut back on your standard of living, or you have to spend the Bitcoin to maintain that standard of living. Now, there's going to be some arguments there, right? One of you may want to hodl the Bitcoin and the other one may want to spend it, right? But here's what you're not doing. You ain't buying more Bitcoin. If one of your salaries disappears, the one thing you're not doing is you're not buying more Bitcoin, because now you're going to actually scale back on your spending and still potentially spend more Bitcoin. So a recession can actually hurt Bitcoin because you'll be spending instead of accumulating or hodling. All right, guys, I'm gonna end up calling it a day. Let me stop the screen share. Or hey, since we have 1,300 people watching, please go back and read this article. It's very important. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of the show. It's in the video description. It's called Bitcoin Price Analysis. Well, didn't really have a cool name. Trend Change Part 2. Check it out. And these are my rules for what defines a trend change. And I'll be doing a webinar on entries, exits, and stop losses in about 10 days on Sunday, July 14th. I will actually be in Prague during this time. So after Ukraine, I'm going to Prague. And then I'll be doing on the physical workshop in Dallas, Texas. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I got a flight to catch. See some of you in Ukraine. Bye, guys.